Good evening and welcome to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. This happens every once in a while, friends. I'm going to pause here. Every once in a while, my good evening and welcome. I start saying a thing that I said for almost 16 years. And if you're like, Pat, why did you have that weird, why does this weird tick still persist for a job that you stopped doing in February of 2019. 4 years ago, you stopped doing that. Why do you kind of do it now and again? And it's because I did it for, off and on, 16 years. And I can't turn it off. I would love to, but I can't. So once in a while, I say the name of my old job. It's weird. Anyway, welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just lurk, baby. You can just hang out. It's cool. You can just like chill and do whatever, and it's totally okay. Ghost Valve is here. Lord Crashton says, hey, Pat. Old habits are hard to break. They are. Also, you got to understand that for 16 years, I didn't say it the same way, but for maybe 10 years, I adopted a speech. This is the 2-minute warning. This was the 2 minutes, like, welcome everybody, silence your cell phones, turn things off, find your seats. If you need a drink, go to the whatever, depending on the theater. There were some things, we said. No food allowed in the theater, whatever. There were various things that I had to say. No flash photography or videotaping, or video recording, like stuff like that. There were things that I had to say. And I would say it live every time. It wasn't like a pre-recorded thing. So I said it over and over and over again to the point where it's ingrained in me. So every once in a while I say, good evening and welcome to the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. At this time we ask you to please silence all cell phones, pagers, sidekicks, PDAs, iPhones, iPads, anything that might make noise and disrupt the show. There's no eating of food at the used to be theater, and the no eating of food was later. The UCB silence all, and I would say a bunch of nonsense. That's just because it's the thing I said every time. Lord Crashton says, a heads up, Mary Kish isn't streaming tonight due to having TwitchCon work to do. Thank you. I did know that, and I appreciate it. I was aware that with TwitchCon Vegas, Mary Kish is a busy person. So, which we understand. Before we get into building, or as we get into building, before we get into other shenanigans, I do want to say up top, I'm sorry about the ad situation on Saturday. If you were not here on Saturday for the stream, what are you doing? It was great. But yeah, if you weren't here on Saturday, a thing that happened, hey, Dirty, welcome. Let's go to the overhead. A thing that happened on Saturday is during my pause for the cause, where I talk about ways you can support the channel and I go through all my stuff. It's my ad reads for me. It's me promoting myself and what I do here. I made all of a sudden an ad break started. Dirty wants me to hit the dance button. It is a new month. So we will start a new dance song as I prepare to work on these legs. Here we go. Oh yeah. This song screams, made on a computer. Made with stuff that came with the copy of the software I used to make this song. Lord Christ says the fun chaos of when Twitch system randomly does ads based on when the previous ones happened. So here's what happened. Twitch fully switched over to its previous system. Lord Crashman wants me to dance button. I just did. I'll hit it again. But yeah, new month, new dance song. So here's what happened. Twitch integrated a new ads manager. And they want people like me. They want people like me to use this ad manager system. This ad manager system is their way of saying, hey, you know how it's a 70-30 split on ads? we're going to change that. We're going to give you more control about how many ads run an hour, when those ads run. And, you know, if you go over a certain percentage, you get that 55%. Now, I was in the beta program for this as an affiliate, and I turned it down to 30 seconds an hour. That's how long I want ads to be. I want ads to be 30 seconds an hour, and that means that I have to have pre-roll ads on, and it means that I only get 30%. Now, I could get 55% if I turned it up to more, like 3 minutes an hour of ads. And that also disengages pre-roll ads. So if you're clicking on me, so you get the benefit of that. My benefit, I lose that. Now, by running an ad before the stream starts, officially, with the 60-second ad, I turn off pre-roll ads for new people coming in at the beginning of the stream, which to me is the most important. So I do that. I made that choice. But what happened was, during the day on Saturday, or Friday, I think it was Friday, the ads manager, the new ads manager rolled out to everyone, every affiliate, every partner. And what ended up happening was they reset to the default that they think is the best deal, not the default that I had set, or the settings I had set. So it reconfigured everything, and suddenly, all of a sudden, suddenly, about like 10 whatever, ads ran. Because I had run the 1 minute ad before the stream started, when we got into the stream, that meant that it was going to start a little after 10. And I was just like, why is a 3 minute ad running? Why am I getting a notification about an ad? So now I will get notifications about how long the ad is. I'll know it's 30 seconds, and I will accommodate people as best I can. I will get a notification that only I see in chat that an ad is rolling, and then 30 seconds later. So I'll just kind of stall. If I'm talking about something that is important to me, if I'm describing something, I'll like stop, and then I'll recap once the 30 seconds is over. I can't help people that are coming in during the stream, like after the first 20 minutes of the stream, you're going to see pre-roll ads. Sorry, that's just how we're going. Give you more control over how fucked the ads are, but there's no way to make sure they're not fucked other than having everybody watching subs or have turbo. Yes. So, again, pre-roll ads are going to happen. There are going to be 30-second ads an hour. Most of the time, I run slightly under 2 hours. And I disengage ads by running the 60-second ad. So most likely, I run a 60-second ad, and then sometime during the stream, there'll be a 30-second ad. And that genuinely is the best I can do. That's the best I can do for all of you. Because also, obviously, ads, garbage. Never good. And also want to point out that Twitch ads are terrible. They're just terrible, low-quality ads. And I don't want you to have to see them. This is the best I can do. Obviously, you don't see ads if you're a subscriber or if you get turbo. If you're in you could do that. But if you don't have to subscribe. I never feel like I never want to say that people need to. It's always something you can do. It certainly benefits you. But if you want to support me, and there's a variety of ways to support me, as we'll say in the Pause for the Cause. And then my hope is that 30-second ad doesn't run during my Pause for the Cause. Because that's really annoying, because then I feel like I'm wasting time, everyone's time that way. Both people who are already supporting me and people who might be interested in it. I guess having ads run while I'm talking about ways you can avoid ads is maybe a good thing. Come back from that and be like, also, hey, sorry you saw those ads. If you don't want to in the future, fucking give me money. Whatever. Anyway, it's a new month. Hey everybody, it's fucking October. It's spooky month. It's the spooky season. And so get into the holiday spirit, I guess, if you want to. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to. All right, let's see. Was there a thing I wanted to say? It's October, and it was 82 degrees today here in Northeast Ohio. It was in the high 70s here in South Carolina, which is not that unusual. Right now, we have the air conditioning on, which is fantastic for me, your friend Pat. because, oh boy, I was sweating on Saturday when we did not have air on, because I often, when I'm just watching videos, sometimes I have headphones on. I don't always have headphones on, but if I'm watching something that's really weird, I will often have headphones on so that the rest of the house doesn't hear me. But I have the door open most of the time. I don't want to have the door open when I'm doing this, because one, it's evening. Oh, these parts are annoying to get in. It's evening, so I want to be nice to the house. And two, my voice just really carries, because it's one thing to have my speakers on kind of low, listening to something, watching something, whatever. It's another thing to have my voice carry throughout the house, which would definitely happen if I had the door open. So I'm not going to do that. Regizzle says it's pumpkin spice latte season, the spookiest caffeinated beverage. It is. It's very spooky. The spookiest of all. Hey, there was a wrestling show last night, and it fucking whipped ass. It whipped a whole lot of ass. I really enjoyed it. It's AEW's Wrestle Dream. It's a new pay-per-view from them. It was a tribute to Antonio Inoki, the founder of New Japan, who passed away a year ago around this time. So it was a tribute show to Inoki, a new tradition. It was in Seattle, which is a hot-ass city for wrestling, especially with there being several people from the Seattle or Tacoma area involved in AEW with cool matches. And we saw many good matches. Now, did it have a lot of talent from New Japan Pro Wrestling? No. I feel like they picked the date and went because they could get a good venue for it and didn't check in with New Japan. And you're like, well, Pat, a Sunday show, New Japan usually has shows on a Friday or Saturday. It would be a tough time difference, but they could make it work. No. New Japan had a show on a Monday, afternoon, literally about the same time, because it's a holiday in Japan. And generally, generally Japan has week-long holidays, like Golden Week, you may know from video games. Week-long holidays are common in Japan. They're, few and far between, but they happen. And those holidays are very good for live wrestling performances. Wrestle Princess 4, the next Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show, is this weekend. And by this weekend, I mean Monday afternoon, because it's going to do bonkers numbers because people are off. And part of the idea of being off is going to cool stuff that you have not been able to attend because you work all the time or you're in school or whatever. So go to a wrestle. So like I said, multiple times there, many people from New Japan were busy. A few people did make it out, and it was very nice to see them. And a few folks that have connections with New Japan were there. There was some fantastic wrestling and some scary spots, and a relatively, in wrestling terms, old man made an appearance, and people were very happy about this old man being there. And I'm less happy than most people are, but that's par for the course for me, because I feel like a company that is trying to stand on its own does not need or should not want so many people that made their name in another company. That's just me. Make stars of the future and not run on nostalgia of the past. That's just me, apparently, because a lot of people do not feel that way at all. And what are you gonna? I can't do anything about it. That's just my opinion. Edge. Adam Copeland, better known as Edge. From Edge and Christian from the WWE. He had a neck injury so severe he was forced to retire, and they put him in the Hall of Fame immediately after that. And it was it felt bad because he had many years left as a top guy. And then, just another spicy. Adam Copeland had some years left as a top guy and many years left as just a good, solid hand in wrestling. A great guy to talk. Eventually would have been a fantastic manager or the head of a group, which he did. He was forced to retire. hey, he had many surgeries and then wanted to do it again. He wanted to come back. He was not as scared after surgeries and treatments and many, many times off. He was like, I'm back for it. How many Adams are in AEW now? Adam Page, Adam Cole, and Adam Copeland. I believe there are only 3 Adams in AEW right now. There's only 2 Bryans because Brian Pillman Jr. isn't with AEW anymore. So there were 3 Bryans and now there's only 2 Bryans. I do want to point out, yes, I think it was just the moment, especially with the music entrance, immediately put an angle with Christian. So part of it is that, right? Like, of course, Edge and Christian gonna get involved together. Sucks because Christian is having a wonderful time in AEW. Does not need to be in a program with Edge. A couple people were pitching the ideas, fan theorizing, like, what if Adam Copeland came in to be like the heavy for Christian, like Christian's, like backup guy. Like that would be wild. But no, instead he's going to feud and he's going to get to work with Sting, which is fun. Yeah, so that kind of is like a little sour, but I generally do feel sour. Look, there are 2 categories to me with AEW hiring WWE guys to come in, or gals, or non-binary pals, although that case has not happened yet. Is like I said, there are 2 things. One is folks that were just underutilized and never going to be able to do anything cool in WWE, and it's nice for them to have a place where they can do good work. I'm talking your Keith Lees. I'm talking your Claudio Castagnolis. Those are the prime examples to me. Hell, Marina Shafir doing way better in AEW, even with her position. Tony Nese has a character right now. Is he on TV? He's on Ring of Honor. He's not really on TV, but he's like out and about doing stuff, and he has like a gimmick that's like pretty solid. And then there's people who I'm like, they still would have fucking done really well in WWE, and I don't know if I need to see them. And that's a lot of people. My opinion has been and will continue to be, there should be more people who have had the world title in AEW who have not been a star in WWE first than have. And that balance has shifted back and forth, and it's been too many people, in my opinion, who made their name in the WWE coming into AEW and then being a world champion. And I think that number is off. I think it's just like the balance is off. But for some people, they're doing great. Some people that come in, their spot's worse. They're not really doing anything. They're just kind of there. It's weird. Whatever. Anyway, the show was great. There were too many matches because between pre-show, the 4 pre-show, and the main card, there were 10 matches on the main card and 4 matches on the pre-show. And that's too many matches. Especially because the last 4 matches were all over 20 minutes each. So 4 matches were an hour and 20 minutes. And then also there was another match that was 20 minutes. And it's just like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The shortest match was just under 5 minutes, and that was in the pre-show. And that was exactly how long that squash match should have been. And we'll get into the shenanigans involved in that match as we get to it. But we're going to talk about the card. I'll breeze through some of this stuff. There was a So again, this is a tribute to Inoki. So what are you going to see on this card? Well, you're going to see hard-hitting wrestling. You're going to see the Japanese strong style wrestling on the card. You're going to see a variety show because New Japan did have variety content. So you're going to see a bunch of different stuff. What you're definitely also going to see in this first match is a bunch of random-ass people put together in a multi-person match that has no storyline revolving around it, and it's just to put some people on the card who should have been on the card and otherwise weren't. And it's like, well, this is a good way to get them on the card and to get people cheering. So we'll do that. And that was Athena, who is the Ring of Honor Women's Champion that literally Jim Ross, who clearly does not know shit about Ring of Honor, said, she's got all the tools. When's she going to arrive? Like, hey, Lashbrook, like fucking JR talking about like the potential of Athena and how she's not hitting her potential. It's like, and literally had to be corrected. Like, well, Jim, she's a champion in Ring of Honor. Fuck off. Athena, Billy Starks, Keith Lee, and Satoshi Kojima from New Japan defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Lee Moriarty and Shane Taylor, DeMonte, and Mercedes Martinez by pinfall. That was an 8-person mixed tag, so ladies fight ladies, men fight men. Athena wanted to fight some guys, and the referee was just like, no, you can't, which is bullshit, but that is a Tony Khan thing. Tony Khan does not like intergender wrestling or all-gender wrestling. Tony Khan is a fucking coward. Yes, Lashbrook, JR. So I will say this. JR in a interview capacity and only the main event of Collision, like not even doing Rampage anymore, has been fun. So I will say this, Lashbrook. While they do treat it as a sideshow, WWE has had over, I think, 10 in its long history, has had all gender matches. They don't regularly do it. China was the Intercontinental Champion. Becky Lynch has fought some dudes. There was a brief flurry. There have been a couple women in the Royal Rumble. There was a brief period where Nia Jax and Randy Orton started a feud that looked like it might actually lead to some stuff. Is it select women? Is it a certain idea of what kind of women it would be? Certainly. I'm not saying that WWE does it right and they do it every week. I am saying they have done it, and basically how AEW handles it is occasionally some ladies do a couple moves on some guys. And that is how they handle it, generally in a big clusterfuck. But you will not see you will not see it too often. It's not really a thing. Anyway, this match was fun. Kojima is wonderful. It's so nice that he's getting some love in the United States. This is a thing he's clearly wanted to do for a very long time. Keith Lee on the card. Billy Starks' first pay-per-view appearance. Billy Starks and Nick Wayne, who we'll talk about shortly, are both 18 years old. And both of them debuted, had a fucking pay-per-view match. And that's cool as hell. It's neat and cool. But this match was whatever. Claudio Castagnoli with Jon Moxley on commentary versus Josh Barnett via pinfall. Josh Barnett is one of the last Inoki guys. One of the last generation of people that Inoki did his best to influence. Because Josh Barnett is a wrestler by way of mixed martial arts, which Inoki, through many parts of his career, absolutely loved to a fault. So it was very cool to have that. It is cool to have Josh Barnett on there. Josh looking kind of fucking blown up here. Not in his top conditioning, but still a very good match against Claudio. It was nice to see. Barnett and apparently John have done some training together. Jon Moxley swore. He just said shit. He was just getting into it and swearing on microphone for the pre-show. And then later when he came back out, said that he had been fined. And then he swore. He took the headset mic off so that he wouldn't get picked up when he swore. Instead of a mute feature, he just took that headset off, so you just heard him quieter later in the night swearing, and it was pretty fucking funny. So he was most likely fined another time. But it was still good. Yeah, Claudio looked like $1 million. His justification for the fight, the challenge he put out was, you don't have to have a championship to be a top person, and the drive for a belt isn't the only drive that you can have, which is a fun little thing of saying, hey, I know I lost a belt, but I'm still a tough guy who's going to win a match. And I was like, yeah, all right. Oh, okay. Luchasaurus, in the shortest match of the night, defeated Nick Wayne by pinfall. Nick Wayne from the Pacific Northwest, from Seattle area, the son of Buddy Wayne, wrestling trainer of many, many talents, including Darby Allin. Nick Wayne, a wrestling prodigy, who is not great on the microphone, and we will talk more about later, got his fucking ass kicked by a big, big man wearing a monster mask who goes by the name Luchasaurus. And Luchasaurus needs this after being the emasculated is the only kind of word, the manipulated TNT champion who lost his belt to his manager in a three-way fight. Sorry, this is annoying. I'll be back in just one quick second here. I'm going to talk to the microphone as I do this, but I'll be back. I just have an itch in a weird position that will look very strange, but it's really bothering me. Okay. Sorry about that. That itch was infuriating me for the last 30 minutes, and I had to get at it. I had to get at it. I got at it. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Luchasaurus looked good. He needed a win here. It was fun. Our fourth and final match in the pre-show, the 0 hour as they call it, was Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed, who's Anthony Bowen's Max Caster. They are the AEW World Trios champions. They put their belts on the line against TMDK, which is a stable that Zack Sabre Jr. also is a member of. The members from TMDK that we saw last night were Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols, who often tag together, and Bad Dude Tito, who still looks like he's a wrestler from the 80s, but he does not work in 80s style, but his vibe is an 80s wrestler, and Bad Dude Tito fucking rules, and the crowd was just like, yeah, all right. I mean, we love the Acclaimed, but also check out fucking Bad Dude Tito. I love Bad Dude Tito. I'm psyched that he's getting some love out there. He's in a fun stable of baddies. This was a fine match. Nothing to write home about. Totally okay. Totally an all right match, filled with some spots. But yeah, the TMDK guys got a couple chances to shine. I thought it was a totally acceptable match. For the fact that it was just like a weird challenge. Pay-per-view time. MJF is one half of the ROH World Tag Champions, along with Adam Cole, who is legit injured. Now, the severity of injury is up for debate and up for question. It is possible that they are playing it up, but he is indeed injured. So, MJF is the tag champion. There was a new number one contender. The Righteous, Dutch, and Vincent. And so he could have backed out of it. He could have given up the belts. Instead, MJF said, no, these belts are important to Adam Cole. Adam wanted to win these belts. They're important to him. And because he's important to me, then these belts are important. I'm going to do it alone. I'm going to challenge these guys by myself. Yes. Also, Adam did cancel a indie match that he was going to do in November. Is that because this injury is going to take months to heal, or because, hey, even if it does, maybe don't, it's touch and go, you should probably cancel it now instead of canceling it in November? Also, if you are a champion and a top guy, probably stop booking indie dates, even though you're supposed to be able to book indie dates, but maybe you're at a tier Adam Cole where you shouldn't be booking indie dates. It's a weird thing. It is not a perfect system. But yeah, he canceled an indie date. MJF decided to face the Righteous alone. You'd think a 2-on-1 handicap match was going to be, oh, there's no way. But you have to remember that the Righteous are barely a thing to worry about. They'd done some work. AEW did some work to try to make them seem like a credible threat. You know, they won some matches. They beat the Hardys, but that doesn't mean anything to me right now because it's not like they beat the Hardys from the 90s. They beat the Hardys from now. So it's just like, Also, the Righteous fucking need to get on the same page. Dutch looks like a different kind of cult leader than Vincent. Vincent looks like a hippie sex cult leader. Dutch looks like a tent preacher, like a revival tent preacher. I mean, look, let's be real. Dutch looks like John Goodman's character from Red State, or the Dude. If the like not the Dude, but like he looks like fucking John Goodman when John Goodman was a preacher in Red State. Like that's what he looks like. And Vincent is a white man with dreads and tattoos and kind of has a hippie gimmick. And you would imagine that the character of Vincent has many charges that won't stick. I'm not saying about the man, the wrestler. I'm saying about the character. The character reads as a fucking problem. These dudes can't even fucking get on the same page other than wearing white gear. But they don't look like they're in a fucking stable. They just look like dudes. And I was like, MJF is going to beat the shit out of these guys. And it was funny and fun. And he won. And it's great. And no one attacked him. And it was fine. And then my match of the night happened. And I know what you're saying. Well, Pat, there's no way that Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. had their best technical wrestler in the world match. And you're right, that early in the card. You're right, that didn't go second. That might have been the best match. FTR Aussie Open might have been the best match on the card. Christian Cage and Darby Allin in a 2 out of 3 falls match might have been the best match on the card. Hell, I could hear an argument that Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page had the best match on the card. That's fine and good. All of those things could be true. But my favorite match on the card was Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata for the ROH World Championship and the Strong Openweight Championship. Eddie Kingston put both his belts on the line and fought a guy he likes and respects and appreciates, another man who followed in the steps of Inoki. Shibata, Eddie Kingston, had a fucking... Hey, here's the thing. They didn't have a New Japan match. They had a short All Japan match. And it fucking whipped ass. They had a great goddamn wrestling match. My boy Eddie went out there with heart and respect. And he wanted to fight and prove something to himself and to Shibata. He put both his titles on the line and called out his own challenger. It was so great, and I'm so bummed that Eddie's going to be next working with fucking Jay Lethal. The only thing that could be good about that is it might mean that because Jay Lethal has a bunch of boys, that maybe Eddie Kingston's going to need a bunch of fucking boys to back him up, which would be great. So get Eddie a fucking posse in Ring of Honor. That sounds neat. But yeah, Eddie Kingston defeated Shibata with a goddamn power bomb, and it was cool as hell, and it was great as fuck, and I loved it. And it was hard hitting, and the chops were flying, and the kicks were heavy, and there were spots where both of them were fucking tired and blown the fuck up. from working so hard and working so goddamn stiff and just loving it. There are so many reasons why that match should not have happened. Everything from the fact that Shibata had swelling of his head, in his head, and had to have surgery, and there were thoughts that he would never fucking wrestle again. All the way to the fact that Eddie should not be a world champion in a promotion because Eddie ruins shit for himself. The fact that Eddie has a belt in New Japan is wild. The fact that Eddie is working for a company as a full-time wrestler and they put one of their belts on him is wild. It is bonkers and crazy, and it means a lot to me because, as I said on Saturday, and I've said before, and I will certainly say again, I have been an Eddie Kingston guy for 20 fucking years. Just about 19 years, maybe? 19? I think I saw him in 2004. Maybe it's 2003. I don't know for sure. Let's just say fucking 20 years. Let's say I have been an Eddie Kingston guy for 20 fucking years. Eddie Kingston is having a hell of a run. The run continues. And I'm so fucking thrilled about it. Because he's such a good fucking dude. He works so goddamn fucking hard. I'm so thrilled about it. It's just great. I just love it, and it's great. And it rules. That was my favorite match of the show. Peaked early. Chris Statlander defeated Julia Hart with Brody King via pinfall. This was a good fucking match. It's a solid match. It is fun to have a match where power versus technique and trickiness, where the face is the power and the heel is the one who's like outsmarting and pulling tricks. Chris never felt dumb in the match. Julia Hart is my 2023 most improved wrestler. She has taken to this. She is getting, phenomenal. It was a fun match. Would I have also liked to have seen other ladies on the main card and not just in the pre-show? Fucking course I would have. Will I take this and be grateful to have it? Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm not grateful. I'm happy about it. I thought this was a quality match, and they went for it, and I can appreciate how hard both of them worked for this match. Brody King, good distraction on the outside, good barking. It was fun. Statlander overcomes. Statlander moves on to the next thing. Fuck yeah. Cool as hell. In a four-way tag match for a future AEW World Tag Team Championship opportunity, the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, defeated the Lucha Brothers, Penta and Rey Fenix, with Alex, their manager, the Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, and Orange Cassidy and Hook by pinfall. And this feels like the wrong choice. I did not think that at any time, I did not think that we would see Aussie Open defeat FTR. When the Bucks won, a bunch of people I was watching with were like, oh, cool. So that means that FTR is going to lose because we've seen FTR Bucks. They literally just wrestled. They just fucking wrestled each other this summer at All In. We're not going to run that back, are we? Yeah, the answer is fucking yes. We are running that back. They decided they really want to see the Bucks versus FTR again. And that is unfathomable to me. I really thought this was going to be the Guns. We have seen Guns FTR before, but I think that's an exciting match still. There's still things you can do with that match. You can still have fun with that. This felt like just and maybe, look, did I think Orange Cassidy and Hook are going to win this? A few people did. And I was like, nah, I don't see that. I don't see that. And I didn't necessarily see the Lucha Brothers, although I would love to see the fucking Lucha Brothers in a spot like that because they can work heelish if they have to. They are okay with working heelish. So I was like, well, you know, if they got to do it that way, we could do it that way, and that's something. But no. Ray Fenix is okay. Ray Fenix was quote unquote hurt in the match. That was storyline. He did not get hurt during the match. They basically had him do an injury angle because they want to protect him because he has a match with one of the Jacksons, which is one of the first matches in AEW this coming Wednesday for the anniversary show, the 4-year anniversary. So they're recreating that for the international title. So they wanted Luchasaurus, who I guess is not Luchasaurus, sorry, Ray Fenix, who is a bit banged up right now. They want him to be able to take it easy. That makes sense to me. That I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. That's fine. But yeah, I didn't want to see the Bucks win, and I'm a little bummed they did, as you can tell. Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana defeated Hangman Adam Page by pinfall in a fucking banger of a match. Again, a best show match of the card contender, an easy contender for best match of the night. A fantastic match. Lots of near falls, like wild amount of near falls, some cheating. Swerve won dirty by using the headband encrusted with jewels, which is basically Prince Nana's crown. Using that as Nana blatantly cheated, but the referee didn't disqualify Swerve and instead kicked Nana out and then to allow time for shenanigans to take place, which was good. You know, hell, fucking do it. Go for it. Swerve really needed to win this one. Hangman can go without a win on this stage. You know, he is 1/3 of the Trios champions. He's doing it upright. He can still do some fun stuff as that champion, and then also could have like a mild like, what am I even doing here? Why did I even bother with that? What's going on with me kind of thing. Swerve really needed it because he's been losing to fucking Sting for months and months. So it is cool. That match was great. Also, Hangman worked kind of heelish because Swerve Strickland is a heel, but they were in Seattle, which is indeed Swerve's house. So the crowd was definitely behind Swerve. So Hangman worked a little heelish, and I think that's cool to trust the audience to be like, yeah, you're gonna boo me anyway, so I'll just fucking be mad about that and be a bit of a dick. I thought it was good. Ricky Starks defeated Wheeler Yuta by pinfall in a match that was, I think, like too long for what was essentially the opening contest of a Dynamite, or like the last match on Collision. Sorry. That match happening on this pay-per-view felt weird. As numerous people have said, there was somebody I know who was in the building. That was the match that people got up to go and take a piss. That is the piss break match. It is important to have a piss break match on a show. It just, in general, this match felt like it did not need to be on the card. It wasn't justified. And it was just to have Ricky be there and get a win because he lost every fucking time to Daniel Bryan. Or Bryan Danielson, I should say. So why not have him beat Bryan's little guy? And of course, I should also mention, as he was for all three of his compatriots in the BCC, Jon Moxley was on the mic on commentary and was less chaotic this time, but was still pretty chaotic. Bryan Danielson defeated Zack Sabre Jr. by pinfall. And in the moment, it was like, wait, Zack Sabre Jr. just got knocked out for a couple seconds and got pinned. In the who is the best technical wrestler in the world match, It was not ended by submission. Was this a submissions match? No. But it was kind of assumed that they would end in submission. And in fact, that's part of the storyline. Now, in video, Zack Sabre Jr. has challenged Brian again. And Brian has accepted that. In the future, they will have another match because Brian won via pinfall. He won in 3 seconds. He was not the better man. He might have won, but he was not the better technical wrestler. That's a fucking awesome story. This match whipped ass. It was just top to bottom so cool and so great. Just like beautiful chain wrestling. It is a thing that you will not see much on a pay-per-view. You might see it as like a weird, interesting match on a weekly television show. You might see it on like the Heritage Cup matches on NXT, or which used to be part of NXT UK, or an indie might have a exhibition where you're going to see that kind of thing. But to see it on television, or not television, but see it on pay-per-view like that was kind of fucking wild. Definitely felt like an Inokiism. It was cool. And again, the match ended in a way that makes a lot of sense for opening the door for future matches. The Don Callis family, Takeshita, Ospreay, Guevara, with Don Callis, of course, defeated Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi by pinfall. Jericho took the pin. Of course, he took a pin in a multi-person match, not a singles. There was a point where they kept saying 6 of the best wrestlers in the world and 6 of the best wrestlers in AEW. And it was like, no. Sammy Guevara is a good wrestler. He is not one of the 6 best wrestlers in the world or even in AEW. Stop saying that. I know they couldn't say 5 of the best wrestlers in the world. Also, Jericho is probably not 5 of the best. Definitely not Sammy Guevara. 6 of the biggest names. I mean, even then, I don't think you could say that about Sammy Guevara. 6 men who wrestle is, I think you could say. Kota looked good. I think this was the best match Kota has had in AEW. But also, I don't need that man to break anything. I need that man to live, and even, he loves wrestling. He's going to wrestle. That's great. Stay safe out there. Please, Kota. Please be good for many years. We're lucky to have you back. This is how the match should have ended. I'm glad it ended this way. Kenny needs to fucking kill Don Callis to get wins at a pay-per-view. He just cannot win on a pay-per-view, and I think that's very funny. I was not surprised that Jericho and Kenny look so good together. The Winnipeg connection. I am not surprised that the two of them meshed so well. I think that is... I think that's not surprising. Now, Jericho and Kota working well together. Hi, Vicky. Welcome. Kota Ibushi and Chris Jericho meshing. That don't make no sense to me. That was a weird thing where I was like, oh, cool. Very odd. Neat, but odd. Anyway, that match did what it needed to do. Got some heat on some people. Takeshita wore a jacket that was unbelievably gorgeous and evil and fucking RPGS villain jacket. I want to shout out that jacket. Very good. Yeah. That one was fun. The semi-main event, FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood, defeated Aussie Open, represented by Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis by pinfall. Aussie Open is the name of the tag team. United Empire is the name of the faction. They're in with Ospreay and Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan. I think that's it. Aussie Open are great. Mark Davis apparently definitely sprained and or broke his hand in this match. Early in it and continued for this 20-minute match. Like, I would say in the first 10 minutes, he definitely injured himself. and stuck with it, which is, one, don't, but two, all right, you know, much as I don't want it, I can respect it. We're body complete on this kit, friends. We're going to start on the weapon. So by the end of the stream, we're going to finish this kit up. As it is right now, the Lfrith Jiu is looking mighty fine with its clear parts over cool black stickers with some fun accents that will show up well in camera. Not so much on this camera, but photography. Cool details, side rockets. But then we're going to have the backpack, which is also a big punch arm, which is also a gun. So we're gonna get started on that. So we'll get a little bit of that done. This tag match was solid. I don't particularly care for FTR as a group. Got some good torso stuff going on. Yes. The Lfrith definitely, so not everyone sees it, the influence of Iron-Blooded Orphans in the Aerial. A lot of people see Gundam 00, which is fair and true. But the Lfrith definitely has the chest and waist. It's not hunched over, but this definitely reminds me a lot of Iron-Blooded Orphans kits. You know, it's not that demonic thing, but it's a little bit there. There's a skeletal structure to it. There's the way the armor is laid out that feels very Iron-Blooded Orphans. I'm a big fan of that. Whereas the Aerial is, a little bit more Gundam 00. Kind of going for that a little bit more. All right, let's get this going here. We need this down there. Yeah, we got a big stickers. Again, we get to decide what sticker. It's an easy decision for me. It's the one with the cool lines in it. So we need A29. Cool. Time to build a big fist. In our main event, Christian Cage defeated Darby Allin in a best-of-3 match. 2 falls to 1 fall, of course. Generally, you don't see 2 falls back-to-back. Darby with a quick, fun win early on where he used the sleeveless turtleneck that Christian wrestles in against him, which I thought was a fun bit of business. Shenanigans befell him even before there were shenanigans, which there were, and we'll get to those. We talked about it a little bit at the top of the night, but we'll get back to that. There were other shenanigans besides this wrestler's coming out, and this person's turning heel, and this person is debuting. There were some spots here that absolutely did not need to happen and shouldn't have happened, so much so that, hey, Darby Allin definitely fucked up his shoulder. So that's fun. He was going to the hospital. He stayed to do the press conference, the media scrum, which I think is a mistake, but whatever. Let the mistake man make his mistakes. I got to put the sticker on first. I got to put the sticker on, and this clear part will go over it. So let's get our sticker here. We can put this piece on here first. The match itself, as I said, lots of nonsense spots that definitely did not need to happen the way they did, that were gruesome and gnarly in many places, and I think, again, not cool. In the end, Nick Wayne, who we saw get beat up by Luchasaurus. Of course, Nick Wayne's mom was at ringside, and Christian has been very rude to Nick Wayne's mom. Nick Wayne came out, and he was like, oh, Nick Wayne's going to even the score. Nick Wayne is going to help out and fix this shit. Sorry, actually, just let me real quick figure out, did I miss a sticker somewhere? What is sticker 21 or 22 supposed to be? Because I don't see it. There's this sticker here, and I'm like, is this sticker supposed to go somewhere? Because it doesn't feel like it goes on the fist. Did I miss where this sticker is supposed to go? Is it a weird inclusion of a sticker? I just don't see it. So hold on. Nick Wayne turned heel. He sided with Christian, a guy who has insulted his dead father, multiple times, but Christian was still somehow won him over, even after getting beat up by Luchasaurus. We don't know if it happened during the night or whatever, but it did happen, and he turned heel, and that's weird. That was a weird thing that happened. Is it a waist sticker? No, it's not a waist sticker. 20 or 19 is... 20 or 19 are these stickers here. So it's that sticker. And that sticker is 23. That makes sense. But what about 21 or 22? What sticker does 21 or 22 go? Is it an extra sticker that I'm just like not understanding where it goes? There's 26. Okay, I found it. 21 or 22 goes on the other side of it. Okay, I did not mess up. I missed it the last time I looked ahead. So all right. We're going to go with sticker 20 because that's the one that looks the coolest. So we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that because it just looks so cool. And that goes over and around, I want to say. Yeah. Starts here, fade and flips over onto the other side. And goes all the way around. And it looks fucking rad. And then I'll put a clear piece over it, which is great because also the clear pieces kind of lock in the sticker so they don't slide around or dry out. It's pretty neat. And this goes here. Kind of lock it in. Yeah. Oh, that looks great. Looks cool as hell. You can kind of see it in the reflection there. Dope as hell. He got beat up. Then he was a 3-on-1 attack on Darby after it was over. And then Sting came out to no music, which felt weird at the time. Sting came out, and it was like definitely Sting, trying his best. That he's getting overwhelmed. Uh-oh, what's going to happen? Oh, well then a little video plays of a guy in a souped-up car driving towards the arena. And then the words, "You think you know him," were heard. And then Edge's music, which is not, WWE had done like a version of it, but it's just a song that exists. Adam Copeland came out. Of course, it was, the original cue was "You Think You Know Me," which they don't have the rights to that cue. So they did "You Think You Know Him," and it was a sound alike. And I hope they don't keep doing it because it didn't sound good. And so people wondered if it was Beth Phoenix, his wife Beth's voice. I don't know. I can't tell you that. But anyway, Adam Copeland came out. And he came out and it looked like, oh no, Adam is going to hang out with his friend, Christian. Adam is going to be an underling of Christian. And he's going to hit chairs onto Sting. Oh no. That's going to... No, it's okay. He's not. He's not siding with Christian. For whatever reason, he came in to side with Darby Allin and Sting. We don't know why. We're going to hear this week. His first match is next week on Title Tuesday against Luchasaurus, which is weird. Lord Christian says, "I'm always confused by what music WWE owns or not when their wrestlers go elsewhere." So, if it is by a popular band, most of the time, or a band, most of the time, they do not own the rights to that. They license it. So, there's a difference, though, because sometimes they will get a popular band to write a song for a wrestler. The WWE owns the rights to songs performed by Motorhead that are Triple H songs. So those are different. But in the most case, if it's a popular band of some sort, they just have a licensing deal for many years, but they're not the only ones. And then a thing that WWE did at certain times was used royalty-free music or music that you could just get a license to. But anyone can do that. I just never know which are from actual bands, just in-house made stuff. Yeah. So like the Hardys come out to the Hardy Boys theme because that music, WWE just licensed and AEW just licensed. In the same way, most of the music you hear from the AEW is written by their in-house people, but not every song. Some of them are popular songs that are licensed and are famous, but at least one of them is just generic ass music. And I'm talking about MJF's theme. MJF's theme is just a music license that they didn't even pay. I can use that. I can use MJF's theme as background music in a YouTube video. It's in the YouTube library. I don't even have to give credit. They get a little bit of change, I guess, for it being in there. Which is very funny. It's just in there. I heard it in a video the other day. I'm curious how much royalty-free stuff gets used by wrestlers. So, when companies are feeling... You will hear royalty-free music for wrestlers that the company is not too sure on, and they need music fast. They just needed a song for MJF. He was coming out with Cody, and so he was coming out to Cody's music. He needed his own music. They needed something as soon as possible for him. And so they just got something. Hardy Boys were not supposed to be a big deal. So they just got whatever. But that's generally the indication is it's royalty free if it's just a song for a group they don't have the biggest confidence in. Or there's a time crunch. You've heard the One Up podcast themes used in other stuff that fucked me up good. Yes. So like podcasts. Podcasts are an easy one of royalty. Like Vinny Caravella, like just is a king of that. Just like grab. I have heard music from Giant Bomb. I have music from Nextlander. One Up Yours theme was in stuff because they just licensed it and grabbed it and then just put it on places. Like, yeah, that's just business. That is how business gets done. Most podcasts do not have a budget to hire someone to write music for them. That's just unlikely that they have the budget, or they know ahead of time enough time to be like, hey, we want to use something from you. We like you. Could you let us? Nerdist, the original Nerdist podcast, and then Indoor Kids, which was part of an early batch, they just used Anamanaguchi songs because they got permission from the band Anamanaguchi to use their songs for free in podcast form. And then when Nerdist had like some TV specials, they had to pay Anamanaguchi to use the music for that. But yeah, they were just like, sure, people will listen to our music, and every once in a while, you'll say the name of our band. I've used royalty-free music from charity bundles for podcast themes. Yeah, totally. I'm going to take a pause for the cause, and then we're going to come back and work on this, the backpack / big fist. We'll continue on that. But we're going to take a pause for the cause. We're going to talk about ways you can support the channel, and various things and things. And we'll do that right now. Here we go over to the intro camera. So first and foremost, if you are currently a subscriber to the Build With Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Let the people know you are a subscriber. This is my ad reads. This is where I talk about ways you can support the channel here on stream if you are so inclined. Everything I'm about to talk about here is optional. But if you would like to, I would love to have you to be a subscriber. Again, throw the Bear Cave, Lego, site. Again, yes, Lord Crashington, 99% sure I have solved this issue. If I have not solved this issue, there will be a 30-second break. It's fine. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, thanks for being here. If you're not a subscriber, consider becoming one. That's the easiest way to help me out. You don't see ads. You get some cool emotes. You could also gift a sub. You could be the top of the gift sub leaderboard. It's a new month. Now I know, a couple days ago, I got so many fucking subs. It was awesome. I'm good on a lot of gift subs. But if you wanted to give a sub, you totally could. Also, bits and coins, always appreciated. These are ways to support me here on Twitch. Consider doing that if you'd like. There are other ways to support me financially here. You can join me on Patreon, patreon.com/PatBear at a, let me find that, $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider becoming a patron over on patreon.com. And I haven't said this in a while. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? Thank you so much for watching the video. You can see the show description for all the links that I'm mentioning right now. And if you're also watching this on Twitch later, you can see it in the chat. Some people don't like watching the chat when they're checking out a stream after the fact. I understand, but you can go there and take a look at these various things. We'll get through this pretty quickly and then get back to building. I also have a YouTube channel I mentioned, youtube.com/PatBear. Become a subscriber there. Subscribing is free and it would help me out. You could also become a member at over on YouTube. $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos early. So my ongoing video series that I do every Wednesday, you can get a video from that tomorrow if you wanted to. You could just do that and it will be fun. You might like it. Let's see. What else can I tell you? What else can I tell you? What else can I tell you? Oh, yeah. Those are all ways to monthly subscribe and to help me out on a monthly basis. But what about a one-time? What if you're just like, I don't know, Pat, I got a couple bucks here. Enjoy. Help buy a model kit. Well, you could make a donation through Coffee or Stream Elements or PayPal. And everything you make through, or everything you give me through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I use money from that fund to buy model kits and equipment. I was able to pre-order this lovely kit, the Lfrith Jiu. I was able to pick that up because of your generosity in the past. I was able to pre-order it. I do have a backlog of various kits, lovely kits that I would be happy to build in the future. In fact, I have a Lego set on deck that my patrons voted for me to build next, my $10 patrons. If you want to jump the queue and become the next thing I build after that, or the person responsible for that, the best way to do that is to buy something off my Amazon wish list. We'll pop over to Amazon, see if there's something there that you think would be neat for me to build, and then it'll come in the mail. I'll make a dedicated video for my YouTube channel about the thing that you bought, and then it jumps the queue, which is the least I could do. I've got inexpensive Lego sets. I got a knockoff Lego thing that I wouldn't mind building for Halloween. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that drop in price, kits that never seem to drop in price, kits from new series, kits from old series. The only Iron-Blooded Orphans high grade I haven't built yet is there. The Sigrun. A bunch of stuff that I'll be happy to put together. The Caliburn, which for whatever reason, the Caliburn does not have its English name in the description. Right now, the Caliburn is $32.60 with free shipping, which means it'll be a really long time before it gets to me because it's probably coming from Japan. But the Caliburn is one of the only Iron-Blooded Orphans Gundams I haven't built yet that I certainly would like to in the future. I got a bunch of stuff in there. I would be happy to build if you wanted to buy it. That's another way to get me to build it. So yeah, see if there's something there you'd like to see me build, to see if you want to pick it up. You could. I have a throne wish list. I recently updated that. It's got some stuff that's not on my Amazon list. It is my alternative wish list to Amazon. And then also USA Gundam Store. You go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card, send me a DM on Twitter or whisper on my Twitch because my DMs are open with that gift card code that you get in your email, and I will use that to buy a model kit from USA Gundam Store. That is the most convoluted way to support me, but you could do it. Okay, I am going to drink some water, and then I am going... Oh, sorry, I got a couple of video links. What am I even doing? I'm not ready to drink water. I got to tell you about my Discord. You can join my Discord. It is a cool little place. Very low stress. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. Join my Discord. You could also check out Pat Bear's Anime Club, which was a live episode where I talked about the end of the summer season and then previewed the beginning of the fall season, which we're going to be talking about 2 shows from the fall season tonight. And then Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where every week I write a brand new character, or a recurring character, which I have done some amount of preparedness for because it is barely rehearsed. This last video, there'll be a new one up on Wednesday, but this most recent one was my clean slate, where I was getting rid of some of my ideas that I just hadn't used. I've done this. This is the third one, so I did it throughout the year because I'm doing 52 weeks of this. So episode 52 will be the last clean slate where I just get rid of all the ideas that I haven't used in this project. And then also on that video, in December, I'll then promote the next video project that I'll be doing, which is going to be a new Wednesday project in January, because I do a new project every year. Do I know what project I'm doing? Yes, I do. It's another one that I can it will stretch me a little bit in a different way. I'm excited about it. But that is a new project that is coming out in 2024, which is a ways away. Don't worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some manga and some anime for everybody. So we'll get ready for that. I also need to drink a little bit of water, so we'll do that. And we're going to start trying to finish this kit up. And then we'll kind of talk about the Lego set that we'll get into if they're time permitting. But in order to do that, I have to dramatically transition to the overhead camera and drink some water, and we'll do that right now. All right. We're going to panel line this here before we move on to the next step. We're just going to do it as we go. Well, I talked to you about a manga because it's a Manga Monday. Here is a manga recommendation. I originally was not going to do Manga Monday because I was like, well, I have 3 anime episodes to talk about, so I don't need to do this. But turns out, we'll get to that in the anime, I only had 2 anime episodes to talk about. This is a hero trained by the worst demon king, unrivaled in the school of returnees from another world. This is another post-isekai. This is a subgenre that is fairly popular. I've seen a few of these manga series where the premise basically is we don't see much of, or at least the beginning, we don't see much of this character in another world. Defeating the demon king, saving from magic, being accidentally sent there, whatever. In one case, there's a Returner series about a guy who is banished there as punishment for a family. It's like a curse. So he was actually sent there from Earth, which was a weird thing. In this case, this dude was summoned, and he was summoned to one of the worst examples. We find out later there are goddesses throughout the world, or throughout the multiverse, that take heroes and give them extraordinary powers and task them with defeating demon kings or monsters of the world. And there are classifications of how bad the threat is. And there is some sort of goal they have for training up these people for future assignments. And it turns out if you suck ass at your job and you don't save the world, when you return, you get stuck going to school for losers, basically. Part of it is you're on Earth, you have these abilities, you can't go back to just regular society, so you have to do this. Our main character was on the worst threat level and failed to defeat the Demon King. When our character got there, the Demon King had already won. She had destroyed the world. There was nothing left. And she was incredibly powerful, and our guy was just going to die. But something weird happened. The Demon King was fucking so excited to have someone to talk to. Because she had lost her mind from being alone, but also had been taken over with the desire to destroy the world, and it was not her intention to do so. So our dude just hangs out and then gets trained, because the Demon King is like, I would love for you to be strong enough to kill me, and then you get to go back. You get to go back by defeating the Demon King, and then I don't have to live here anymore, and everything will be cool, right? And you'll be strong and whatever. Not knowing about the whole society and all this other stuff. Well, it takes a long time for him to get strong enough to do this. And in that time, he comes to a certain realization. Hey, I definitely love this Demon King, and maybe it's familiar love, maybe it's romantic love, but either way, I definitely don't want to kill this lady. Let's see, so that goes, okay, so these are the parts that go here. So he comes to a decision, and basically does not defeat the Demon Lord, but also doesn't kill the Demon Lord. Disrupts the world in such a way that a Demon Lord is no longer connected to that world, and then, disguised as a cat, smuggles the Demon Lord back to his world. He's like, well, I failed because the Demon Lord didn't die, but also the Demon Lord can't do anything in this world, and so I win, and who cares? Not knowing that he is now a failure. And he is shoved in with a bunch of other failures because, he didn't defeat the Demon Lord. And he has hidden his powers. He is, as I said, it says unrivaled, because he is way stronger than other people. He was trained by a Demon Lord who is, again, hiding who she is as the cat familiar. And we start getting into the first chapter of, like, learning this power structure, learning the way of the world, trying to hide who he is, but also help people out. There are some people that they're with who failed but are strong and shitty and think that, like, it didn't matter. They didn't save that world because who the fuck cares? And they have some comeuppance. And then we find out that if you save the world, you go on missions to save other worlds with the powers that you were bestowed. Like, it's a continuing cycle. And if you survived but didn't dissolve the world, then you need to like basically be an assistant and go off. We're now in a chapter where some shenanigans are happening, and going in as a support with a goddess that seems weird and maybe not that powerful. More shenanigans are taking place, and we're not quite sure what's happening, but, like, we are moments away from seeing more cool shit with our character, and that is going to be pretty much how things happen. Our guy is, in an effort to avoid people finding out that his cat is a Demon Lord, he is going to try to just blend in, but his sense of justice will not allow that to happen. So he is going to get into scenarios where he gets to show off, and we are a couple chapters away, maybe even just a chapter away from him being a cool badass. It is a unique concept. Is it a good manga? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's not my favorite manga that I've read, but it's pretty good. But it is an interesting idea, and I think it is done well. So that's my take on, as I try to make sure I'm putting this together right, because this can't tell how this goes. This looks like this. This goes like this. Got it. And I got to put a sticker on the side. That's my feelings on a hero trained by the worst Demon King, unrivaled in the school of returnees from another world. It's pretty good. And at least the premise is interesting as far as Returners series go. And now I will talk to you about 2 anime shows. Pat, what about Zom 100? Bucket List of the Dead. There's still 3 episodes left in the season. It's had several episodes, like breaks, some of which were because of staffing problems, some of which were due to being preempted. But you were talking about this show, and what's going on? Why are we not talking about it anymore? tonight? Well, because episodes 10, 11, and 12 are delayed an indeterminate amount of time. They might never air. Apparently, this show, beyond its problems with staffing and its being kind of like tossed aside for some live events, also apparently in Japan, not popular. So there just might not be episodes 10, 11, and 12. It might just be an incomplete season. A rarity. A show that just does not end. I will keep up with it. I will do my best to find out when episode 10, 11, and 12 air, if they do air. My hope is they will. My fear is they will just finish them for a Blu-ray release later, and they won't end up on streaming services, so I will not see them. That is my fear, because I would like to see it, because I like the show. It was a pleasant surprise. So that show, I don't know. At some point, I will talk about it, but I can't talk about it today. I kind of knew that for a few days here, that it looked like there had been a tweet, which I wasn't following their account. So I happened to see somebody saying something the other day about like, yeah, I really hope we get episode 10 at some point. And I was like, oh no, what happened? And then I looked it up and found out what happened. Shenanigans. But instead, friends, I can now tell you about the family circumstances of the Irregular Witch and MF Ghost. We're going to start with the familial circumstances of the Irregular Witch, which I will be talking about weekly because it's a very cute show, and I am enjoying talking. I enjoyed it very much, so we'll continue to cover it on here, and then I'm going to pick up another show to watch as well. 2007 years old is 207 is the age of Alyssa, who is a witch. 207-year-old witch doing her thing, small in size and stature, seems to be a nice witch. She finds a baby, a human baby, and decides, you know what? I guess I'll just take care of this baby. I guess I'm adopting this baby. Names the baby Viola. So Alyssa is the witch. Viola is the baby. Now, we don't watch a bunch of years of her raising a child. Don't worry about that. We're not going to watch that. We're going to jump ahead 16 years, to which Viola is a tall, voluptuous, lovely lady. And people assume that she is Alyssa's mom, because Alyssa does not look any different in 16 years, because of course she doesn't, witch shit. So people think that Viola is the actual the mom, but she's not. Alyssa is worried that Viola is going to go through a teen rebellious phase, and so she's like, I guess I should maybe try being like a strict mom, but she can't pull it off. She doesn't have it in her to be strict. She just can't do that shit. She just can't be strict about it, because she's a doting mom. All right, let's continue working on the first, and then we'll panel line it all when it's done. Because we're on our last page of this manual here, on our big fist, fighting fist here. Like that. Yeah. All right, so we need to put a sticker on here. So anyway, a big part of this episode are men who are very interested in our girl. They are very interested in Viola because she's very attractive. But Viola at 16 is like, oh, people are after my mom. They want to get with my mom, which is not the case. That is part of the comedy, is that they're definitely interested in Viola. So she kind of shoos them away, and of course that's her reject. They think, oh, that's this girl rejecting us. Instead, that's this girl protecting her mom. Um, Viola summons a phoenix to have as a pet, which is cool. Who is named Phoenix, Phoenix the Phoenix. Just as a pet, just to kind of be around, not for any like particular reason that is explained. We'll find out more about that later. But right now, it's just like, yeah, I'm going to summon this because I'm going to summon this as a pet. Alyssa worries that Viola might start dating. And Viola is not interested in dating and also doesn't want Alyssa to start dating. So they're trying to like stop each other. So much so that Viola summons a golem to like protect the area in theory, but really it's to scare dudes away, like would-be suitors away. So it's a little fun misunderstandings of the mother-daughter here pair who don't want each other to date. And later in the episode, because it's like basically that's like part one, and then we got our secondary story. We gotta put a sticker on here and C19. So our secondary story is Viola decides she wants to get a familiar, but she can't decide what kind. And you're like, Pat, she summoned a phoenix. The phoenix is a pet. A familiar is different. So she's like, I want to have a familiar, but Alyssa, her mom, does not have one. Her aunt has a snake, which they don't like, and her aunt Greco, and her other aunt Luna, who are all witches. Luna has a pet. She has a harem of dudes who are masochistic. I don't know, because I have not read this manga, if we're going to see more of Aunt Luna and her masochistic harem of dudes. I didn't hate it. I don't know. I was like, I did not see this coming. I don't quite know what's happening here. It was kind of weird, but I wasn't mad about it, I guess I'll say. I thought it was odd, but I wasn't like, what? Get out of here, dudes. What is this? So basically, the familiars are a lot of responsibility, and our girl basically just says kind of to herself, you know what? I do not have the capacity. So I need A26 is this one. I don't have the capacity to be for the responsibility. I'm just going to get a flower, and I'm just going to grow a flower and do that as practice. Meanwhile, Phoenix the Phoenix is like, what? You summoned me. Do you not? Why did you summon me? You know what? Fine. I'm mad at this. I'm mad that you're paying attention to this flower instead of me. I'm gonna make us. I'll be your familiar. Sure. Just kind of like does it. So you get the sense that our Phoenix is a little tsundere. And so now we have a Phoenix pet who has a one-sided feud with this flower. And then Alyssa also likes Phoenix because, as she says, Phoenix acts more like a cat than a bird. And of course, witches like cats, as we know. And that's the first episode of a very fucking chill, fun little show called The Family Circumstances of the Irregular Witch, which I very much enjoy. I will be watching this one weekly. Obviously, I'm going to give it a few more episodes. I could always drop it, but right now, this felt good. This felt silly and fun. This felt like something I will watch weekly. I will tell you right now, you will not be hearing from me on a weekly basis about MF Ghost because I don't... How do I say this? MF Ghost it would be a hard anime for me to talk about on a weekly basis because it is so much about the vibes. It's the Eurobeat. It's the racing. It's the explanation of terms that I am not really proficient enough to properly explain as I hear them. There are other things happening because this has much more of a story than Initial D. I should say, this is a spiritual successor by the same person that made Initial D. If you have no connection to Initial D, the first episode of MF Ghost is going to be fucking hard to look at. Because I'm not going to give a play-by-play of this episode. I'll give you the boilerplate pitch that I've read. So, in the near future Japan, in the 2020s or 30s, fossil fuels are hard to come by. And basically, there are smart cars and electric cars, and like racing is a hobby more than anything else. The team at MFG created basically like street racing events as entertainment, basically like live streams. They have drones following it. They're using all this high-tech shenanigans to do this. That's basically where we're at in this far-off, not so far-off future. That's the vibe of the series. And we've got our dude. And so you got like race cars from Europe, and Japanese street racing happens. It's got the look of, it really fucking looks and feels like Initial D. The art has this thing where like characters aren't like, they're not ugly, but they're not ridiculously gorgeous. Even the pretty characters, the characters that people fawn over, like don't look particularly like amazingly gorgeous. That's just the art style. The cars are still CG, where the backgrounds are digital, which is like Initial D was. And in Initial D's time, this was a bad combination of things because the CG didn't blend well with the digital. It looked bad, and the digital was still kind of new. Now, this is one of the best blendings I've ever seen. All the cars are, so they can do cool car shit. All the cars are completely CG. They blend pretty damn well with the backgrounds and the drivers, and it looks good. So our story is, we got this dude, Kitana, or Kitana, I should say. Kitana is half Japanese, half English. And he was trained to drive in Cambridge. And so he's coming to make a name for himself. And part of his goal is that he is going to become a well-known racer and track down his father, who he does not know. So we won't see this probably in every episode, but part of the I would say probably the best part of this episode was this dude who has known about Japan from his mom, which was somewhat outdated, and just has like no connection to Japan really, and so is fawning over like Japanese snacks, thinking they're better than what he had in the UK. And it's very like, clearly a Japanese person wrote this to write the character of foreign guy impressed with Japan, but it's a lot of like misunderstandings, him not getting it, and that's kind of fun. We don't really see him drive. Like, the episode ends with him about to drive, so we don't really get it right off the bat. I think that's okay. I know a friend of mine was like, how are they going to fucking do a race series where we don't see any racing in the first episode? And I was like, I don't know. They're kind of trying to be a little slow about it. I don't hate that idea. I don't hate the idea of kind of taking your time with it and trying to see what's going on with it. I don't hate that. I got to put a sticker on here on the thumb. Where do you go, sticker? You go here. Okay. The other part of the series, that he meets a girl who is like a teen girl. She's 16. She goes to the same school. She just is telling her friend, there's love at first sight isn't real. And then she meets this dude, Kitana, and immediately has like feelings for him, and they are around each other. And she's like, I have this job, and it's like, I never really know when I'm going to be working, but all of a sudden I will need to go into work, and it's a whole thing, and I'm trying to keep it private. She doesn't want people to know what her job is because she's embarrassed about it. because her job is being a race girl. She is one of the girls who wears a kind of like flashy outfit and holds up the like go signs or the flags or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay, so this is going to be the love interest. Like in Initial D, she was getting paid to hang out with a guy, and there was implications of what that might have been, and people that watched the show hated that and didn't like her. And also, Takumi didn't really have emotions and wasn't really like a full-fledged person. He was Takumi from Initial D very much felt like he was on the spectrum. Certainly. This character immediately is like talking to this girl and is much more of a like, oh, I'm a racer, but also he's not a savant. He worked hard to be a racer, whereas Takumi was a savant. Anyway, another chunk of this episode is how this 16-year-old girl is trying to like keep her private life because she goes to school, and also because there are 20-something-year-old racers in their 20s, who are fucking gross and like always trying to like find out more about her and flirt with her and ask her out, including a dude who like takes our guy under his wing and is like, I think we're supposed to think he's a decent dude, except that he likes this girl, but like he's a guy in his 20s who likes a 16-year-old. Get the fuck out of here. It's already probably weird enough that our 19-year-old likes a 16-year-old, but for Japan, that's pretty fucking great. The fact that there's a 16-year-old, I'm like, well, this could be so much worse, so I guess this isn't that big of a deal. Anyway, it's kind of interesting that this show operates like under the direct opinion that, hey, this sucks, and that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I don't know where it goes, or if it actually goes anywhere with that. So, do I think that MF Ghost is cool? I got to give this more time. I got to give this a couple more episodes. I loved Initial D. Initial D also started very slow. I know some people didn't like the first episode because it didn't involve him being a racing savant. As if I guess they wanted the episode to start with him being awesome and then flash back. But it's like, no, I think we just wanted they just wanted to have a plot in between the cool shit. And I don't fault them for that. I am having trouble getting these fingers together. I wish I wasn't doing this now, but it is the last part of this build. So I'm looking at these instructions here. I'm trying to make sure that I have this set up properly. I think I do. This has to go like this, and then this is like this. I know this is right, but I don't know if this is right. But these fingers need to lock into each other so they can curl up. Because, okay, that worked. All right, I got this done right. Because if I'm going to have a gun fist, I need this fist that also, like, sometimes is a gun. I need all of the fingers to look perfect. So we got to get this right. All right, so this is going to go. We did one, so now I should be able to do the others because I can just match them. So, I mean, the vibes are good at MF Ghost. The music at the end kind of swelled, and there's a preview of people being shocked, which is what I like to see. I like the fish out of water idea. He is not a fish out of water about racing. There are specifics to these styles of races that he doesn't know yet, but he's like still knowledgeable about racing because he came from a racing background, and he was a trained racer. So like there's that stuff. And the idea that he's getting to know this girl, we get the feeling he probably didn't even see her, recognize her in her gear, and there'll be some comeuppance with that stuff. That's interesting. I'd like to see more of that part of it too. But I'm not going to talk about it weekly because, like, what am I going to say? He had a race and he won, and the Eurobeat song was good. Like, I'm not going to talk about that weekly. I am going to, again, if if our zombie show returns, I will pick up where I left off on that. I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to keep talking about the family circumstances of the Irregular Witch because it's cute and I like it. and I'll pick up one more show. I don't know what show it'll be. I have to figure that out. I got to look at what's coming out on Sundays and Mondays. There was at least one show that I was kind of interested in. Apparently some people like Shangri-La, but I'm not really into the virtual reality game kind of anime unless it has like a strong premise like Bofuri. Bofuri has a killer premise, so I was like, well, I got to watch that. So, I don't know. I got to figure it out. We'll figure that out. Now is the part of the stream as we come into the close with this, as we get ready to finish this, the fist here, and I'm getting everything together for it. I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing right now? What's got you going? What's got you excited? What can't you wait? What can you not wait to tell me about? Playing any games, watching anything? Let me know in the chat. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I watched a lot of wrestling last night. As I talked about, I've been watching some anime. Game-wise, playing Hearthstone, enjoying my decks that I'm currently playing, saving up gold for the next expansion, whenever that comes, having a good time with it, still really enjoying, I still like Hearthstone. I still find time to enjoy that. So, did I put this part together wrong? I might have put this part on wrong. There's a piece here that okay, these are all on right. This piece, I don't know if I did correctly. I didn't do it correctly. Now I did. Hooray! Now I did it correctly. Great. Part of this hand I had not done right. So yeah, I'm still playing and really enjoying my time with Hearthstone. I played a little bit of Pizza Possum, that's my stream tomorrow night, friends. Join me for Pizza Possum tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern for my regular Tuesday game stream. I look forward to seeing some of y'all there. I hope you can make some time. I got to put 4 stickers on here, and then we'll panel line a little bit, and then we're done. 4 very tiny stickers on the inside of these hands, and then this kit is completed. I can just yeah. So yeah, those are the games I've been playing. Again, I just played enough Pizza Possum to understand it. I might reset everything, so I'm starting from scratch tomorrow. I haven't decided yet, but played a little of that, got a sense of what it's like. I played more Mars First Logistics, which we will hopefully check out sometime this month. I don't know when we're going to do that, but I do have plans to check that out because that is a lot of fun. So yeah, I played some of that. It was I had a good time. The update to Mars First Logistics is just really solid. This most recent update of like Steam Workshop support and the creative mode. I haven't done enough of the creative mode, but the workshop support is worth it for that alone because it's just really fun to like see people's solutions. There's still one main quest that I have not completed. I still have not moved the icicle. They are the big block of ice. I still need help doing that. But I did the butterfly. The worst main mission in the game. Moving the butterfly. I ended up using Steam support or Steam Workshop and typed in butterfly, and then someone put a butterfly vehicle up, a butterfly catcher, and I managed to use that catcher. Also, the update did make the butterfly fly less fast. So also I benefit from that. I guess some people haven't had trouble with the icicle or the big cube of ice, but I've had so much fucking trouble with it because I haven't been able to find a vehicle that like he's like, oh no, don't worry about it. You can do this vehicle and you can get it. Let's see. I want to read what y'all have to say. You watched the new FLCL, says Rajizzle. Shoegazer seems all right. Grunge seems terrible. I have heard similar. But of course, I also I have not enjoyed any of the FLCL like reboot or return or reimagining or whatever. I did not enjoy Alternative. And so don't I don't see a world where I watch either of those. You know, I just don't see it. Um, Lord Crashin has been playing some of that Time Wasters ass game. Oh yes, the that Jeff played a while back. You're starting to figure out some things about after an hour play. Very different than the typical ass game, which is the auto shooter, basically. Um, you still need a Steam Deck game. Neat is a Steam Deck game. Oh, cool. Dirty's been playing Starfield. Saw today the listing for Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition was just added to Steam. Oh, okay. That's neat. Lord Crash has also been playing some Starfield. Stole your first ship from some pirates that had way too little storage space. You had to visit your dream home, drop off some contraband before going to New Atlantis to swap the ship with your upgraded Frontier. Boy, is there a difference between being over encumbered by a bit and having 15K of stuff on me when moving stuff between ships. Yeah. Yeah, that can be fucking annoying. I certainly have run into some situations with that of just being very annoyed. Hey, check it out. It's a backpack fist. I'm not going to take a photo of it as a backpack, I don't think, but I'll show you what it looks like as a backpack. You pop this here. Oops. This likes to slide off in a way that I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy how easy that is to slide off. Maybe did I do it wrong? I might have done this wrong. Looking at it now, this slides off way too easy. It's supposed to slide off, but it slides off way too easy. So I'm going to see if I maybe missed a step in the construction of this here. Put that like that. I did. I missed a step, everybody. I fucking missed a step. There's a piece that should go in here. That shouldn't connect like that if it's going to be weird. Hey, I was like, this feels off. Maybe I don't think it's bad because this design is really solid and all of the Witcher Mercury kits have been solidly designed. It's because I fucked up. I'm proud of myself for recognizing that maybe something is wrong. I'm patting myself on the back. Maybe it's a little too hard here, but whatever. FLC Alternative had its moments, but yeah, not a great track record. Yeah, it just didn't really do much for me. I thought it was a perfectly cromulent show, but it didn't like hit me in the way that I wish it had. Okay, so I do need to separate these parts because these need to clip in. So can I separate this without it being a problem? So this is gonna be fun. Now I gotta part separate this because it's gotta snip onto that part there. So we'll see if I can do this safely. Dirty randomly met a dude in the beginning of your Xbox playthrough of Starfield wandering around New Atlantis that you would have no context for until hours in the story. That having beaten the game already on PC, I was like, what are you even doing here already? Yeah, that is weird. It's like one of those things where like, hey, if you look hard enough, you can find this guy way earlier. And it's like, what? Oh man, am I gonna have to break? I might have to pull off the sticker. Hey friends, I really fucked this up. I got to see if I can get this plastic piece off that is locking in the sticker because I need to separate these two parts. Oof, this is a bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to separate these two parts. And I can't separate them until I get this plastic piece off. And I don't know how to get the plastic piece off. I might have to get a different spudger here. Because there's no good way to get this piece off. I can kind of separate these here. If I separate here, like I'm afraid I'm going to break it. Oh, good. I got it up. Whew. Okay. And then I'm going to have to peel up the sticker, which might ruin the sticker. This surgery is really annoying, and I'm bummed that I have to do it. Oh, I definitely broke the sticker. That's okay. For the fist, we'll just... Come on. Come on. I'm getting frustrated now. I'll put that knife down. Lord Crashington's been watching more Columbo and saw Ricardo Montalban kill a man via drugged up bullfight. Also, it's weird, next episode where he gets a nice new raincoat and a haircut to kind of ruin the vibes he had for every episode. That is weird. You know what? It might have been Lord Crashington. He might have gotten a haircut for like a different role in a different thing, and then he just had to like make it part of the story. It might have been something like that, where he had to like, in the off season, he did a movie or something, and the shooting got messed up. Something like that. Could have been something on that case. All right, so let's get this together here. Try to get this fist together with its annoying parts. Okay, so did I put this together? Damn. We were flowing so well. This is like the biggest mistake I have made on a kit in a while, where I just did not understand what it wanted from me and missed a piece and then couldn't easily fix it. And so then I had to rip a sticker. I could put on the other version of the sticker, but it's okay because the rip won't be seen because of the plastic piece that goes on over it. And then also the fact that there's this piece here, it's fine. No one will know except everyone watching this stream. Dirty also picked up Northern Exposure Season 1 on Prime for $8. So that'll be my next watch. So I have no idea if Northern Exposure is going to hold up. I bet some of the kooky characters that we disagree on some things, but we can agree on others. I bet that doesn't feel particularly great in 2023. But that show has a lot of heart. And so I can appreciate the heart in that show. All right, so this is how the backpack works. This is how it works as a backpack. It plugs in the back here. It lives there. There it is. There's the backpack. Cool as hell, right? It's a backpack. It's got rocket boosters. It's a long-ass backpack. It's kind of neat. That's not how we want to do things here. We don't care about it that way. We want to do it as a big old fist. So let's see. This is going to go like this. Yeah, it's going to go in like that. And then how does this attach to? How do I get this part to attach? You gotta like turn it. Yeah, how does it? Now I got to figure out how the other part of this. How do I do things? A12. Yeah, this is kind of a bummer here. Because it's like not really making a lot of sense about how. But this turns like this. And then that goes like that. Okay, so that goes like that. And then there's the other part that comes up there. And then this goes basically like this into the hand. So yeah, Northern Exposure, I enjoyed it watching it on A&E, reruns on A&E. I don't know how I would feel about it now in 2023. I don't know if some of the parts that I thought were cute and quirky, if I would feel that way now, but I do remember very much enjoying it. Okay, so take the wrist and attach it. And then, yeah, it's going like that. So it's going to go like this. It's going to go like this. And then there's some other way to attach this so it's not just big and long and nightmarish. And there's a A15. Sorry, everybody, about this. I'm like very confused about how I want to have how this attaches. So we can do it like that, and that'll look neat. But how does it stay on? There's a part. A15 is like the last piece on here. We're gonna go a little over 11 because I'm not gonna do this on Thursday stream. This piece is I don't know where this piece goes. It does not make it perfectly clear where it goes. There is like a peg part. Oh, okay. So it goes on here. Oh. Okay. Goes like that. There's a little brace piece here. I will say, as much as I love this design, this part I am not loving. Not loving how it connects together. All right. Yeah, this does not feel great. And it's not like we had with the other situation where I was like, oh, I don't know how to connect these. I do know how to connect this. I would say it does not come with a separate stand, but the separate stand is probably the way to go. That's probably the best way to do this, is the method of the attachable stand. It's probably the way to do this. Sold separately. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. Again, the very end of the stream, probably not the best time to do this, but whatever. We want to finish it up. I think this kit looks fantastic, even if this is not the best way to, my favorite way to do something like this. I still think this kit looks rad. I'm still happy that I put it together. I'm still happy that I bought it, even if I don't love how these two things connect. Yeah, this still looks rad as hell. It's a big fist like that. That's just how we're gonna show it. Got our big old fist. There it is. That's our kit. We're done with it. Again, maybe final moments of it. Not the biggest fan, but this is a cool, big, weird thing, and is a strange design. And also, this Lfrith Jiu, the Lfrith just design of it is so cool. It's just a very good design. So that's awesome. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. We're going to finish this kit up. Reminder, the next stream will be on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Will be our next stream. It will be Pizza Possum. We're checking out Pizza Possum. Very excited about playing that game, so please come around for that stream. The next build stream will be on Thursday. I will be starting a Lego set. I can tell you what it is. I have it right here. It is the Lego Creator Space Shuttle 3-in-1. We've built the Space Shuttle before. There's a different Space Shuttle kit. We can also build a big spaceman on the moon and a spaceship. So we get our shuttle, our alien spacecraft, and our Lego person, complete with a flag, which is very cute. That'll be the next thing that I build. So come back for that on Thursday. Lashberg says you can raid Jeff Gersman. Is Jeff streaming right now? Is he doing like a weird stream? We definitely go raid him. Let me go see what's going on. Jeff is doing a podcast, I guess. I guess he's doing his podcast tonight instead of doing it tomorrow. Yes, okay, so he's doing a Monday night podcast because his wife didn't go into labor, so he's doing it now. Jeff's going to be a dad again real soon. So yeah, let's go rate Jeff. That's fun. That's a fun thing to do. Also because I guess I need to be modding. I need to be moderating, so we'll go do that. So we'll go give Jeff a raid. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Hope you have a great time tonight. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope you had a great time. I hope you come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern for us hanging out and doing a bunch of nonsense. I hope you come back on Thursday for more model kit building. Thanks so much. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.